Hey guys, welcome back. Listen, I just gotta get this off my chest. I've talked about this very briefly in one other video, but I just feel like it's worthy of attention being brought to it because it's such a funny little tidbit of information deep within the marathon universe. So I wanted to shine a little bit of light on it and explain why this place, this unknown, unseen, only very briefly spoken about location, is the one place that I really need to see in some way, shape, or form in the new marathon game. And this location was first mentioned in the Lost Network packets. And if you're not familiar with what those are, consider checking out this video here where I dive into explaining what it is, where it came from, how it came to be. It's pretty cool. It's kind of like Bungie's potentially first pseudo ARG type experiment. And there's a lot of cool backstory to how it came to be. But within the Lost Network packets, we get this sentence referring to this location. There is a way out of here that goes to the PWS Holo-Fun Park, but I don't have the power in my suit to propel me there. Now, this comes from one Volker von Mueller, who is writing this from on board the marathon during the invasion, the initial attack of the four in 2794. And yes, you heard that correct. It appears that the UESC marathon, the colony ship, has a theme park, and it is called the PWS Holo-Fun Park. Now, obviously, the idea of this kind of like holographic or VR room on board a ship isn't entirely new. The first thing that jumps to my mind would be the Star Trek room that they can go into, and obviously it kind of creates a fully synthetic holographic environment. But also when I was kind of looking a little bit deeper into this, I found out that Star Wars has a hologram fun world that appeared in a 1993 extended universe Star Wars novel called Queen of the Empire. So it almost makes me wonder if maybe Jason Jones or Greg Kirkpatrick, or maybe I guess some point after the release of the first game, maybe one of them were reading this Star Wars science fiction novel and got the idea to add this little bit of information in there. But regardless of where it came from, this little piece of information just tickles me. I mean, the fact that they even put the PWS at the front, like what could that stand for? I feel like the S has got to stand for simulator or simulation. Maybe the W is something fun like wonder, but what is the P? You know, what does the acronym at the beginning of it represent about what the Holo Fun Park is truly meant for? Obviously, fun seems to imply that it's purely a theme park style attraction to maybe let the Bobs let off a little bit of steam since they're trapped in there with Durandal all day. But do they use it for other things like training or simulation or maybe teaching classes about historical events in some sort of like hyper realistic setting? It also kind of paints a different picture of what kind of experience the Bobs could have been having, because I almost feel like as a human traveling through space, maybe going into like a holographic simulated version of a beach or something might kind of fulfill some of your natural human desires that you would think the Bobs maybe aren't getting fulfillment for. But I don't know, maybe the technology is advanced enough that this kind of helps them out to live maybe a somewhat more regular life, despite the fact that they're hurtling through space in this weird ship made out of a moon. And much like the Bobs or the Chakasins or the M5 combat shotgun, this is one of those things that I think could be reimagined in a super cool way and introduced to us as runners now that we're going to be back on Tau Ceti and possibly on the marathon 100 years after the events of the original series take place. Imagine how surreal it would be if you're creeping through the hallways of the marathon looking for loot or an extraction point with, danger around every corner as you walk down these creepy, desolate hallways. And then you turn a corner and boom, you're on this beach setting, or, you're in some sort of weird simulated environment, or perhaps because the marathon ship is kind of falling apart, it doesn't work properly. So things are glitching in and out of reality. Or maybe one of the colony AI, or maybe some fragment of a ship AI that was left over after the original events is, somehow tapped into the Holo Park system and creating new environments, or maybe the four are there and they're manipulating the holographic world to kind of mess with you as you try to escape from this, nightmare theme park now that's probably distorted and filled with enemies and other players. I just feel like the concept of a multiplayer map based on a futuristic holographic theme park is such a cool and funky idea that it would be incredible if they were to include it in the new game. And even if they don't include it as a playable area, or maybe the holographic component of it isn't entirely functioning, it would be cool to see at least a nod or reference to this small piece of lore, just to continue to build on the massive world that is Marathon, because there's so many cool little pieces to this story that I'm just excited to see expanded upon. And while I was putting together my resources for this video, I came across this article from Theme Park Magazine, and it's titled, "New Hologram Technology Could Take Theme Park Experiences to the Next Level." A new hologram technology, Solid Light, could enhance guest experiences at theme parks. The technology, by Lightfield Lab, can create holographic images that move and even reflect in a realistic manner. Quote, "Solid Light is unlike anything you have experienced before." Now, this article is from 2021, so maybe we're not going to be getting our holographic theme park anytime soon. But if we're going based off Marathon timelines, perhaps we get to go to the PWS Holo-Fun Park in real life before we get to play Marathon. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. I am recording this video on February 7th, so hopefully the state of play has happened or is about to happen, and we got our gameplay trailer, but who knows. Anyways, guys, like I said, I just wanted to make a video pointing out this cool little tidbit of information that maybe a lot of people haven't seen about Marathon, and point out that it would be pretty badass if we got a holographic theme park in the upcoming game, as I would love to run some raids through a theme park. Just in general, that would be sick. But if you guys have any ideas about what PWS could stand for, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you have any locations from the original games that you would like to see come back, also let me know about that. And I should be back to my regular stream schedule next week. And I think that's all. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. Bye.
It's over. Go home. Go.